something to
Hey,
wear.
vinyl community, YouTube, and all those from
You'll
parts
see
unknown.
something that is wonder. My eyes hurt.
What's up, vinyl community?
They see
Hey, welcome one, welcome all to Cosmic Vinyl. I am Cosmic Brian, your host. This has been one hell of a week, man. If you watched my last video, you know that I talked about a good friend of ours here in the vinyl community who is very sick, and unfortunately, as you probably most of you know, if you follow Steve Carlson, as our friend Bill from the Michigan Record Club, Bill Young, has passed away. I was crushed. I just love Bill, and like I said in the last video, he's been, like, over the past year or so, he's been like an older brother to me, a big brother that I never had, and gosh, we just really we hit it off immediately once we started talking. Lots of late night phone calls and texting and messaging, telling me stories, these great stories of him partying with, like, you know, Bob Seger's Silver Bullet Band, and his friend had this club and he'd party with all these great bands. And he was a legend among record collectors, especially in his state of Michigan. And I wore my Michigan Record Club t-shirt that Bill gave me quite some time ago as a tribute to our brother, man. You know what? He's experiencing the most beautiful music right now. And you know what? Everything that was great about Bill, and where he's at now, all those things are amplified like infinite, and like to infinity. He is perfect right now. He's a perfect heavenly being right now. And I love that for him, man. He's struggled with, you know, his illness for so long, and now he lives in a perfect body. And I find that to be just a beautiful thing. You know, as much as I'm gonna miss Bill, and as much as as sad as I've been over this last few days, I'm here today to celebrate his life. And I'm following Steve Carlson's lead on this, man. We're celebrating him, man. Sure, we're sad that he passed, but his life is so much bigger than his passing. So, hey, what we're listening to right here, I know that Bill would like. Cliff, the Vinyl Cheapskate, sent me this, along with some other VCLT that I'll show in another video. But this is Heavy Hard Proto. This is all like late 60s, early 70s, just killer. It's mostly 70s, but killer heavy rock, man. This, Cliff, if you're watching this, man, this is friggin' fantastic, brother. I hope I don't get a copyright strike for showing it or for listening to it, but it's amazing. So what I'm showing today is some recent pickups. Some stuff in here that I know Bill would approve of. So yeah, I'm gonna just get down to it, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna take a little pre-Big Chug swill here, and then we'll crack open a fresh one for our friend Bill Young. And I'd like you to join me in this toast to celebrate Bill Young, the king of the Michigan Record Club, now a heavenly being. God, I just loved saying that because I know it's true. So let's just toss one back for old Bill, and let's celebrate his life.
Oh, yes, my good friend, of course.
Oh, that's tasty. All right, let's get on with some vinyl. You guys want to see some vinyl? Let's do it. So this first one is one that I picked up in the mail recently. This is Steel River, and it's called Weighing Heavy. And this is kind of weighs a little bit heavy. Not only the packaging, it's got this like kind of heavy duty textured cover here. There's the band. I'll give you a closer look there. But this was released in 1970 on Evolution Records, which I'll show you the Evolution label. It's kind of cool there. Check that out. I always like it when I see a label that, you know, doesn't, something you don't see all the time. I always dig that. But yeah, this Steel River, they're a Canadian hard rock band. They started as a club band and they were known as the Toronto Shotgun. Don't ask, I have no idea. The Toronto Shot. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage the Toronto Shotgun. Yeah, and their first single off of this record is a song called 10 Pound Note. Gained them some international coverage, and you know, these guys turned out to be a friggin' killer live band, and they toured extensively until about 74 when they disbanded. But I love the vocals. The vocals in this are kind of like Grand Funk Railroad. In fact, they remind me of Grand Funk a little bit. And I dig the funk. Another Michigan band, by the way. I'm going to mention Michigan a lot in this video just because for our friend Bill. But this has great guitar, some cool effects, guitar effects, wah-wah, and cool stuff like that. Some cool organ. This is just like straight ahead rock and roll, man, with some bluesy, heavy bass. This is just a solid record. Now, side one is the superior side, as side two gets into a little bit more melodic, a little melancholy vibe to it, kind of a slower pace. But, you know, for a few bucks, this is a great pickup, man. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and give this about 2.5 peace signs out of 5 peace signs. I'll give you one last look there at Steel River. So this next record that I'm going to show is one that I'm sure most of you will be familiar with, as these guys were big time heavy hard rockin' band back in the 70s. And that's Free, and their third album, Fire and Water. It's got a little damage there, but I got this for $2 out of a bargain bin. See the band in the window there, but yeah, a big hit song on this, All Right Now. Love that song. All right now, baby, it's all right now. It's all right now. Jesus Christ, that was horrible. A little pitchy, dog. But yeah, this was released in 1970 on A&M Records. Paul Rogers on vocals. God, I love his vocal delivery, man. It's gritty and visceral. I dig it, man. And then you've got the friggin' amazing Paul Kossoff on guitar. You guys want a little cosmic trivia? Here we go. Cosmic trivia, baby. Okay, so Paul Kossoff on guitar. Paul Kossoff, before being in the band Free, was in a band called Black Cat Bones. And I'm sure all you hard rock and Psych collectors out there are familiar with Black Cat Bones. Their album Barbed Wire Sandwich, which is one that's very high on the want list here at Cosmic Vinyl. So, yeah, great band, and great guitar player, man. I think he made like the Rolling Stones top 50 or guitar players. But yeah, their big hit on this, like I said, was All Right Now. You know, they found their stride on this album. You know, they got their sound together, or tightened things up, and had a hit song. I mean, they went on to greatness. The rest is history. Love that cover. All right, let's move on to the third album. Now, this one was a total blind buy at my favorite record store down here in St. Louis, Planet Score. So this is a Planet Score. But the cover of this intrigued me, so I picked it up. This is the Music Asylum, Commit Thyself. Released in 1970 on United Artists. Like I said, total blind buy, but I found this to be pretty damn enjoyable, man. This is like prog psych with like jazz rock and free jazz. Just a kind of a mixed bag, but yeah, there's a little bit of garage in here. There's some weird psych parts on it, but lots of free jazz moments. I love it. But check out this cover. Let me and I love that old school United Artists label there too. Check that out. But there's the guy on the cover. I mean, it just was like, what in the world's going on here? And there's the gatefold. Those guys are looking pretty damn cool there, by the way. But some cool melodic vocals. I love these crazy 60s and late 60s, early 70s, like hybrid unknown groups. And I'll pick them up if I see them, man. I'm usually not disappointed, man. But it's like United Artists would like sign these guys, bands like these guys, and you know, they'd sign them, they'd have them record their album, and they would release it with like zero promotion, man, nothing, and then just let these bands fade into oblivion. And I feel like that's probably what happened to this group right here. I mean, it's got you got the promotional notch there where it didn't sell, and they probably tossed it in a bargain bin. But this has got some great tracks, man. Star Dreams on here, Plastic People, $1 Million Dash. This is crazy, man. It says when they list like the instruments that the guys play, one guy plays a phaser gun, and then he plays the straw and whistles. I'm telling you, it's got some weird moments to it, but this is a really cool listen. I'm going to give this 3 peace signs on the old 5 peace sign scale. On that free album, I missed that. I'm going to go, that's about a 3.5 peace signs there on the old free. But check this next one out. This is one I passed up when I first seen it. I'm not sure why, because I picked up their first album, and I just figured this, by looking at the cover, that this would be a better one. And this is Mount Rushmore 69. Now, can you guess what year that was released in? Just take a wild guess. Okay, so anyway, released in 1969 on Dot Records. That's a label you don't see very often. I love that label, by the way. But this is like kind of psych, but more like heavy blues rock. It's very similar to their first album, only they kept their shirts on this time around. I'll show you what I mean here. And I'm glad they did, because shirts off was not too flattering for these guys. I mean, check that guy on the right there. Oh my God, that's awesome. Getting high on Mount Rushmore. So the sound is kind of a lot the same on this album as it was on the first. Only the songs are a bit more catchy, and you know, they seem tighter, but still the same like blues rock formula. I think this band's downfall is the fact that they had trouble coming up with like original material, and the original stuff just wasn't like mind-blowing or anything. So got a top loader here. You don't get very many of those, but there is a highlight on this, and it's called Toe Jam, and it is heavy. It's like an instrumental, very heavy tune. I'd put it in line with anything that like Blue Cheer did. Yeah, I said that, so what? Anyway, I'd give that about 2.5 peace signs, just because of Toe Jam, probably, because that was a great jam. All right, now this one is fantastic. I just picked this up yesterday. I've passed this one by a few times, and I said, this one's coming home with me today. I'm not going to make the same mistake. And that's H.P. Lovecraft Too. Can you guess what album this is? Yeah, it's their second album. Jesus, I'm being an idiot. I'm sorry. I I've had a few cold ones today, so. But yeah, this is true psychedelia here, man, with kind of some folk type leanings. But yeah, I mean, look at that cover. I mean, that screams psychedelic. And if you look close, man, these little these are all like these little hieroglyphic symbols in there. You know how it looks pixelated? It's all these little like hieroglyphics, like symbols. It's very cool. I'm gonna pull this album out. This is what do they call a unipack, where it loads on the inside, which I hate, but that's the full effect on the album cover there. It's absolutely beautifully psychedelic. You know me, I love the colorful stuff. And you got the band there looking cool. Now, legend has it that this is the first major label release to be recorded by musicians who were all under the influence of LSD, acid, man. And you can kind of tell, I mean, first of all, to compound matters, these guys had been touring for most of 1968. And then, within the same year, they felt the pressure to get another album out. And then they come in, they're just all tripping balls or whatever, man. They've got, road lag. But thank God that their co-producer and engineer, Chris Houston, was up for the challenge, man. He helped fill in all the gaps because they didn't have a lot of material written for the album. So he helped fill in the gaps, and he also helped, added a lot of trippy effects and stuff. Made it a great album. And even though this didn't chart like big, this is, a Psych collector's dream here. And that's H.P. Lovecraft Too. And I'm going to give that bad boy 4 peace signs, man. Mostly because of the song At the Mountains of Madness, this sinister, based on actual writing, a novella by the H.P. Lovecraft himself. Now, for the grand finale, this is, when you get an album sometimes, and it's just one of those that just sits just right with you. It's one of those that that, man, this is great. This is a friggin' great album. And you listen to it constantly. Well, that's this album for me, man. I friggin' love this, man. This is a fantastic album. This is T2. And this is their self-titled record here. Now, this was supposed to be their second record, their follow-up to another great outing by them called It'll All Work Out in Boomland. Same kind of cover art too, but this was recorded in 1970, but I guess due to personnel changes and whatnot, or whatever was going on at the time, it went unreleased. But yeah, this is hard, heavy, proto-metal, a little progressive too, but this is fantastic, man. And this band's family tree, wait till you hear the pedigree of this band. It included members from Gun, Please, and Bulldog Breed, all killer like hard rock psych bands in the early 70s. This is an amazing album. I was so happy. This is why it pays to go on Instagram and kind of get involved in the vinyl community on Instagram, because Planet Score showed this on their Instagram. I couldn't get on the phone fast enough. Hey man, pull that aside. I'll be there as soon as I get off work, man. Yeah, I was on Instagram while I was at work. But anyway, yeah, heavy psychedelic, progadelic, or whatever, but even their slower atmospheric stuff is just moody, dreamy vibe, but then it launches into this just killer, heavy, hard rock. I mean, when this thing rocks, and it rocks a lot, man. I'll give you another glimpse of the back there. I want to show you this insert too, man, because it came with this really cool insert. tells a little bit about the band, has some cool pictures of the band there. And weird cancellation flyer, which I thought was a weird inclusion. But yeah, great power trio, man. This is fantastic. So yeah, I'm giving, this is probably the highest rating I've given an album, and I'm giving it 4.5 peace signs because, like I said, it's one of those albums that you come across not as often as you'd like, that just sits with you, you know what I mean? And it sits well. So that's all I've got today, man. And I just want to say one more thing. Bill, if you're watching down, man, I hope you approve of these records I've showed today. And continue to shoot positive vibes and prayers out to his family. As I'm sure things, you know, this is still a very hard time for them. Even as prepared as they may have been for Bill's passing. But yeah, it saddens me to know he's gone. But it also, I know that he's in a place where he's not suffering. And I know he's an amazing being right now. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to toast you guys out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. I don't know what it's going to be. I have no idea. I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. All right, you guys, have a great week. And we'll see you next time. Peace, guys.